This is Krista, and you're watching Amiens House. Today we're going to do a vegetable tour. It's been 2.5 months in the ground, and let's see what's new and different. If this is your first time that you've come on the vegetable tour in the garden, I'll just give you a quick rundown. This is a no-till square foot garden, and it is 100 by 30. I'm trying to think of how wide it is. Oh no, I think this is 15. 100 feet by 15 feet. And it's the second year that it's been no-till and it's been square foot gardening, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's my favorite way to garden. I was recently watching Jess from Roots and Refuge, and she was saying that she believes a garden should be beautiful, and this has been something that my husband and I have been battling back and forth. He thinks this garden is kind of silly and it is a lot of extra work, and because it's just not long rows where you can rototiller in between, weed easily, harvest easily, and I find that a garden should be beautiful. Exactly what Jess said, and when she said that, I was like, yes, it makes you want to be in the garden more. It makes the garden just that much more beautiful to tend to, and you're just walking by, it makes my heart happy that it's beautiful and not just straight rows with kind of dead soil in between. Everything is life and lush and beautiful. So we do not spray. We are a no spray garden or farm, and I do not fertilize. We put compost that we make on our own on the garden at the beginning of the year, and that's all we do. So let's see what it's looking like. So I just turned you around, and this hasn't changed. This is where the strawberries will go. I haven't gone and got them from my mom yet, and she has ever-bearing ones, so she's still getting strawberries. So I kind of feel like this is a fall project. Our strawberries are still doing really, really well. Even though with all our rain, we are still getting very tiny, tiny berries. As you can see, like that's a tiny berry. But they are scrumptious and proliferant, so we'll keep them. The cold frame that I use for the fall and the winter, I have lettuce that's just about ready to come out. I've replanted some fall stuff, so we have more lettuce, arugula, and spinach, and it looks like we have some weeds we have to re-look at, and then some kale. Our potatoes are looking great. We've dug a few. They are ready to come out, and so we will be digging potatoes probably tomorrow. I have to clean the onions in the garage so we make room for the potatoes, because then the potatoes will sit out for a couple of weeks and cure. The brassica beds are huge. We have beautiful cabbages coming. The kale is so lovely. Look at these cabbages. They're so gorgeous. Our broccoli, we've harvested several heads of broccoli. These are our Brussels sprouts. And in there, you can see them starting to come. And these are our okra. And we have 3 little okras. Well, no, they're not so little. Big okras that we've had. And there's a flower coming. And as you can see, the tops, there's tons of them still coming. So these are new to me, and I'm excited to have more okra. Then we have our sunflowers, which are just pure joy. Sunflowers are just pure, pure joy. So I just turned it around so you could see how big the sunflowers are. Now I'm not a tall person, but still. And I'm not at the base of them even, actually. This is the base. And so that's the beautiful sunflowers. They make me so happy. So just after the broccoli, we have the leftover Swiss chard. We have some bok choy that is gone to flower that I need to get out of the garden soon before it's everywhere. And this is super, super exciting. Can we get in here? Can you see what that is? Fennel! Oh, I'm so excited. I have one beautiful fennel that's really coming, and then I have a lot of little babies that are just starting to come. On the other side of this, we have what looks like a bare bed, but I did replant carrots, and you can see that they're starting. Get past the grass. They're starting to come up, and then over in this bed we have more beets that I've planted. So these beds had onions in them, and we took the onions out. We need to do some weeding, but otherwise we've replanted them. This is the celery that needs to be harvested, And under there we have more carrots. So we have 3 succession of carrots. Well, let's get rid of the weed. In there is the carrots. So we have carrots over here on this side that can be pulled and eaten. We have these carrots that were planted after the radishes came out, and then the carrots that are behind me that will be for the later fall and winter. What we're looking at here is Brussels sprouts and a few cosmos that have blown over with some rain. Story of this year, story of 2020, rain has taken over. And then you can see the tomatoes. Yesterday we cleaned up the tomatoes, restrung a lot of them because some of them had fallen down with how heavy the fruit is, and they're so gorgeous. And you will see some red, but not very many because we did a big pick yesterday. So I'm gonna go back out here. Just take you along. So there were onions in here, if you recall. If not, check out the last videos. They've been harvested and are in the garage and ready to be cleaned. Then we have peppers, and we've had some hot peppers. I don't know if there's any. Jeff has gotten his hot peppers. There you can see, if you get past the leaves, one of them. And the bell peppers are in the middle, and we have some that are loaded and falling over. And we have, none of them are red though. Where's a good, bite my tongue. Oh, no, it is. It's a bell pepper. Yay! A red bell pepper. And these have been beaten up as well with the rain. And again, there was onions in the middle of them, so they've been pulled out. More tomatoes. So we have the cherry tomatoes, or the tiny Tims, or whatever you want to call them, at the end. And then we have our beefsteak tomatoes, and these pretty tomatoes are a harvest. They're called summer harvest, and they're an heirloom variety, and they are gorgeous. They taste delicious, and there's not a lot of seeds, so they are beautiful. But look how big that tomato is. So huge. Look my hand. Massive. And now that we've cleaned them up, the marigolds can start growing a little bit bigger. Here's some peppers. Look at this one. It's loaded. Money tree. Our peas, I've replanted, and they're just starting to sprout. So we'll have a second set of peas. Our beans are doing fantastic, and we've had already like 6 or 7 pickings, and they're still coming on. Our zucchini, we ended up with just this one left, and it's a yellow, but it's starting to have the green in it where it kind of crosses. And I replanted one more zucchini, and he's tiny, tiny, tiny. So we'll see if we get another green zucchini plant before frost hits. And then these are the Romas and the nasturtiums that have just taken over. But we cleaned these up too, so the Romas could get some sun and start to ripen. And then we have our zinnias. I wasn't sure about zinnias because the Japanese beetle was just demolishing it, but since the Japanese beetle has moved along, they've done a lot better, and they keep flowering, which is really, really nice. And right beside it we have our corn, which is fun. It's so fun that I have corn in this garden. Eggplant, yes! It's starting to have flowers on it, which means we will have eggplant before frost, which is so exciting. I wasn't sure if I was going to get eggplant. And then we have our beets, which we've been eating, and nothing beats the beets is what Mackenzie's been saying, because they are delicious and all the kids love them. Look at this beet that's just popping out here. Can you see how large that is? If I could get all the leaves out of the way. Look at how huge it is. And the pigs love the beets too. These are our sweet potatoes. 2 beds of sweet potatoes with almost no pathway anymore. And then the very end, the trellises, is our sad looking cucumbers. We just cleaned these up. The squash beetle has just done a number, and this is what all the leaves look like, and I was supposed to cut those off and I didn't yesterday. We were trying to clean the leaves up and just leave the nice real green ones, because the tips are beautiful and there's still tons of flowers on them. And they're now reaching the archway, which is so excited, and there's lots of little cucumbers still to come. So we will see what happens. Cucumbers and I have not had a really good relationship so far in my gardening life, so I gotta up my ante next year on cucumbers and see if I can get a little bit better. I get enough to kind of eat, a few jars to pickle. My mom's been pickling them, but it's like 1 jar every 2 or 3 days, so it's not like I get an enormous amount of cucumbers. And then the vines always seem to die on me. So this is my goal for next year: learn more about the cucumbers and how to get a better crop. If you have tips, let me know. I hope you've enjoyed this middle of August garden tour. It has been so good to watch this garden blossom and come to life. It's lush and abundant, and the harvesting is kind of stressful because everything comes at once, and you always are learning. I think I'm going to do some succession planting a little bit more next year, so maybe the harvest isn't as stressful when you get a whole bunch of the same thing. You want tomatoes and peppers to come all, and onions to come all at the same time, but you don't want 6 broccolis all at the same time. So things like that. If you haven't checked out the previous videos in the middle of July and the middle of June to see how the garden's been progressing and changing, go check those out. I'll link them below. I hope you've taken some time to simply breathe, and I'll catch you on the next one.